Good morning.
I guess I enjoyed watching your kind of scouting breakdown of all the guys in the signing class yesterday. What's kind of your big picture takeaway from that piece?
Well, we certainly, with Keyshawn and Kurt being seniors, definitely need to address in the backcourt. Our ability to defend, our ability to score, playmaking, point guard play, all those things, and feel like that was one huge priority for us, and feel like with Killian, Makari, and Jamarian, we certainly have those attributes and those traits. Those guys are high character guys, playmakers, guys that can facilitate offense, really guard the basketball, things that we look for. And then with Xavion, he's just that mismatch forward, a guy that's very cerebral player, can guard a lot of positions, create a matchup advantage. So I feel like with all four guys, they fit in culture, how we do things, their work habits, their character, who they are as people. And I think when you look at, again, with us having the seniors with Brandt on the front line, I know Xavion's not he's not a five-man, but somebody that can play on the front court, a bigger wing, and then the three perimeter players. I feel like they address the needs that we had, right away moving in the next year.
How hard is it to know how many freshmen to sign when the transfer portal is continuing to increase and all of that?
Yeah, for us, we look at it and feel like every class, you're going to want to sign two or three just to continue to have young talent that you can develop. Certainly, with those guys, I think the vision that you have for them, there needs to be an alignment, what you see, because oftentimes in this league, freshmen coming in right away, there's different learning curves and things that take time. But in this class, we were set at three, and then just felt like Killian was somebody that was a talent, and his maturity and the gifts that he had would be somebody that we may value over a transfer that that could be available in the spring. So felt like it made sense to go with four.
I guess you have to be a little bit flexible. If you think you have three and you go up to four, and with Noyes being the only one in the class, how important is it to maintain that flexibility?
Yeah, it's really important. I mean, things are always fluid, right now with recruiting, and they've been in the past, but even more so with the transfer portal and things. So guys are just a little bit more transient and more willing to move and bounce, whether it's they're not playing as much as they would like or whatever that may be. So I think it's just important to take it as it comes, take it in stride for us when we see guys and cultivate the relationship with guys we feel like are the right guys for us. Then we're not going to worry as much about is this do we want two, do we want three, do we want four, because on a given year that could present itself in different ways.
You talked up there briefly about Killian's recruitment. His timeline was a little bit different for you guys. You were usually pretty early in the cycle. His was later. How did you come across his game, and what did you enjoy about scouting him at Brewster?
Yeah, so we had known about Killian for almost a year before we started really locking in on him when he played in Basketball Without Borders camp with Noyes in Europe. And a good friend of mine was his camp coach and just told me that he had a lot of the attributes and traits that we value in perimeter players, and just thought he was an elite on-ball defender, and toughness and motor and maturity all stood out. So we were aware of him for quite some time. It was something that we explored even this summer as a possibility to see if he might be able to come this summer when things didn't work out with Pierce. And then it was something that right away in the fall we locked on. And felt like, when he's at a place like Brewster that we trust, we've had a track record with, we know he's going to get better, he's going to get coached, he's going to be in a very structured environment similar to ours, so we just felt like it made all the sense in the world.
You mentioned there about him going to Brewster. Obviously, being from France and playing overseas, it's a much different game. Is there a value, in your opinion, of him coming to the United States and playing at a high level in high school at Brewster Academy this year?
Yeah, absolutely. And he's played against older guys in international competition and that sort of thing. But to play here, the game's just a little bit different, and to have that experience at Brewster where you can play 50 games or however many they play this year, just helps prepare you that much more for this opportunity.
It's no secret how much you guys enjoy recruiting the state of Wisconsin with your connections up there. You signed 2 prospects out of that state again this cycle. How exciting is it to continue to establish your footprint in that state?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of great players that have come out of Wisconsin, and certainly the guys that have been here. There's been a proven track record of success over time. Guys that have helped us win a lot of games, guys that have been fortunate to go on to the next level, and it's been really good to us. So I think there's a lot of parallels between growing up in Iowa and Wisconsin in terms of the fit and how they transition, and so it'll be an area we continue to to really try to scour and find the best players for us.
How have you tried to manage the practice schedule with one game a week for these 3 weeks?
Yeah, I'm big on getting in a rhythm and trying to stay in that rhythm. So as odd as it is to play 4 Mondays in a row, we've tried to establish a practice cycle that still feels like we're playing 2 games in a week. So on our Thursdays, we've had more of a live like game setting, so it feels like the second game of the week. And so we've really tried to build that schedule out so the guys still feel like they're playing 2 games a week and they're in that same rhythm, so that it doesn't feel like there's these long time periods between games.
What's practice like in these times? Is it more developmental? Because I know when you get into the season, your game plan can be walking through a lot.
Yeah, because of all the time that we have in the summer and we get started right away, you feel like you have the time in the summer and in the fall to put in your foundational concepts, principles, the things that are important to you, specifically defensively. And then offensively, I think that kind of continues to evolve throughout the course of the season, just as guys get comfortable playing together, lineups, combinations. That's always something that you're continuing to work on, and you're learning about guys' strengths and how you can fit them all together. So for us, there's probably more 5-on-5 than we've done in the past in terms of not only on a day like today where we're playing more of a game setting, but also even in the midst of practice. I think, we've got a lot of older guys that have played for great coaches and they've been through practices. And so it's really more about, applying that to the game, having those game conditions, getting used to playing to one another, playing through adversity, playing against man, zone, presses, all these other things. So we've really done a lot more 5-on-5, especially lately, to simulate game conditions.
Are you trying to fix or tweak things now, or is 80 minutes against in blowouts not as instructive on what you might want to change?
Yeah, I think there's a standard that we want to play to on both ends, and I feel like there was, in the first game, maybe possessions that we felt that was great, but not over the course of the 40 minutes. In our second game, really was pleased with the start of the second half, especially you go back and watch our defensive intent, our ball pressure. That first 10 minutes of the second half, I think it was 31-11 over a stretch, and we really guarded. Our ball pressure set the tone. We got out in transition more, and it looked like how we wanted to play. So I think you're trying to go from possessions and plays to stretches, and then from stretches to 40 minutes. And that's something I think with every team you've got to work to build towards. But I think having that 10-minute stretch is something that we're going to continue to watch with our guys and talk about, and then hopefully that turns into a 15 or 20 or beyond as we move forward.
TJ, in your opinion, is there a unique mindset that a player needs to have in order to thrive as a sixth man, or is it no different than being a starter?
Yeah, I don't exactly know. I think for every individual that could be different. I think for Kurt specifically, like he did such a great job last year of when he came into the game, he brought an energy and got the ball on the move. I thought defensively he was disruptive right away, and then what he has done offensively. And so, for him, he's found a way to understand that he's a sixth starter for us very easily. He's a starter. He's going to play starter minutes. But that energy and that spark that he's able to provide is very unique. Like a lot of guys aren't able to do that to the extent that he is. So I don't look at it as a negative at all. I look at it as his mental prowess or whatever puts him in a position where he knows I come in, I bring energy, the ball moves, the game changes, I open things up for my teammates, and he's just done a really, really good job of that last year. And then the other night, it took us to another level for sure.
CJ Moore recently wrote about your guys' approach to recruiting and how you you yourself go sit in EYBL and 3SSB gyms for younger kids. Makari Moore didn't play much this spring and summer because of an ankle injury. How valuable was it for you to have some of that early scouting as you guys evaluated him and knew that he was still fit despite not playing much this past summer?
Yeah, no, it's really important. I think seeing guys, year after year, for us, you want to see guys that take a step and get better. And Makari had some things maturity-wise to his game at a young age, physical component to his game, and how he makes plays and how he takes contact and continues to move forward. So being able to see him play the year prior, matters a lot. Obviously, all these events now, too, you have film that you're able to break down and evaluate, too. So it's something that where, I know there's the transfer portal's part of it, and it's something that we've counted on. And as we move forward, I think, your hope is that the more high school guys you can get in and develop, you feel like that retention, that development is probably your best success formula, but you're also going to have to understand, or we're going to have to be aware of the transfers to fit in when there's a specific need that we have.
And Jamarian is someone I know you guys made a huge priority. I mean, he visited here at least a dozen times. How exciting was it for you back in July when he, called you guys and said that he was committed?
Yeah, I mean, he's a terrific player. I mean, he can really score the ball. He has great energy. Probably more than that, even like his character. I mean, he's a guy that has a chance to be valedictorian. He's a leader in everything that he does. In some aspects, he has a energy like Tyrus McGee did when he played here that can just really get it going, and you just feel his energy and his enthusiasm. But he's a really competitive on-ball defender. He's got great leadership skills. Somebody that, to your point, I mean, he stood out to us very early on as a high priority, and just feel like he's going to be a terrific player here.
Is Kurt coming off the bench moving forward, or leaving the door open for Mueller to come off the bench depending on matchups?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it matters, how we move forward as a team. Certainly the other night things went well, and so we'll continue to evaluate as it moves forward. We value practice, and if I learned anything from the group that we had last year, those guys practiced hard throughout the course of the season, and we got better. And as you continue to do that, different things present themselves, different lineups can present themselves. We're not locked into anything. It would be shocking to me if we had the same starting lineup for the rest of the year from one game for the rest of the season. That's something I want guys to always have tremendous sense of urgency. And we talk to our guys a lot about when you have the responsibility to start the game, we want to get off to a great start. We want to start off 10-0, 8-2, 12-2. We want to have that aggressiveness defensively and attacking mindset offensively. So we'll just continue to evaluate each day in practice how it goes, and then how that shows up for us on game night and what we feel like puts our team, our program in the best position to win.
Looking at it holistically, you guys signed a second top 10 class in your time here, and the class previous would have been highly ranked had JT not reclassified. How has this program been able to sell itself to prospects and been an attractive destination?
Well, I think the guys that have come here, they've done well, the guys that have trusted us. I think if you're about the hard work and the player development piece, and you really want to commit to your game, this is an environment, this is a campus, a community that'll get behind you and really support you. Our assistant coaches, the investment they make in young men every single day to get better is unlike any I've seen in any program. The time that they spend each and every day that our staff invests in those guys. So they're getting better. They know they're invested in. They know we're with them on the journey every step of the way. And so when guys on the outside see those players continue to improve and get better, have successes, it translates to wins, postseason wins, things along those lines. It makes an exciting environment, and we all know that Hilton Coliseum is good or better home court than anyone has in the country. So we're extremely grateful and thankful to our fans and their support and the energy that's in that building. Guys want to play at Hilton. Guys want to play for our fans. Guys want to play in a place they know they're going to get better and have success, and hopefully, that's something that recruits, when they evaluate their decisions, there's a lot of things you weigh into it, but we want the guys that value those things at the same level that we do.
Thanks, guys.
Deferred today. You didn't lead us off. You're not the alpha like Randy was.